As we step through the process in Designrr, we've imported content. We brought that content in. The next thing that we want to do is we want to edit it. And I want to talk about containers today and how important they are to the formatting of your final document. So, but in order to do that, we've got to start here with the editor tool. And we're going to do that from the draft mode tab right here. If you'll notice the drafts right here, I've opened that draft tab up because that should be your next step. After you import the content, you should save it as a draft, and then you open up the draft editor. So here, I'm going to take this piece of content, which I have imported, and this is it right here. Now, this is where I want to talk about containers, okay? This is going to put this footer at the footer URL in my document. This is a heading, and this is an H2 tag heading, and I want to make sure that I have that container correct when I bring it into the formatter, because I can't change the containers inside the formatter. I can only add a container and copy and paste stuff into it, which is a waste of time when you can actually designate the containers right here. So if I open this up and I go to heading 2, I can adjust these back and forth. Now I'm determining which header I'm going to use. So now I've got that header picked for the container. Let's go down here and take a look at the rest of this. Now we know this is a paragraph, and as a paragraph, it's going to appear in a paragraph container inside of the formatter. If I put the containers correctly, then everything going inside of the formatter is going to be really, really easy. So as I scroll down here and take a look at this information that I have imported, all the content that's there, I want to just check to make sure that I'm actually getting the containers the way that I want them to be. That's going to be a format H3, and now here's an image. That image will go in an image container when I bring that into the platform, so that image container will work. This is a paragraph. I'm just going down through here and looking at this. This is bold printed, and so when it pulls into the formatter, it will be bold printed. This is an H3 tag right here, so it will pull that in as an H3 tag. I'm looking for other things for you to do. Okay, here is a list of it's an unordered list. So when I select this, open this up, it's an unordered list, and the way I know that it's a list is because it gives me the option to indent or outdent it. And this option, because this is not grayed out like it is here, then I know that this is actually designated as a list. Sometimes you'll pull content in and it'll have a bullet point in it, but it won't see it as a list. It'll see it as something else because the formatter, because the editor only recognizes certain types of bullet points. So make sure that when you bring that in, that it is in fact in a list format and it's not just a paragraph with a funky designator in front of it. Okay? So as I scroll down here, it's obvious to me that my containers are correct. I got the right spacing between the paragraphs, all of that. Okay. Again, this is an H3 tag. Oh, there's a link. Now, when I click on the link, it tells me what the link is right here. Okay. I can edit that link right here, and I can save that. Or I could have added a link right here. I could have made that comment a link. And if you do it here, it's easier than doing it inside of the formatter. Do all of your editing in the editing tool. It just makes a lot of sense to do that. Okay, let's see if there's anything else here that we need to take a look at. That's an H2 tag. So I know that this container, that's an H3 tag, is going to be an H3 container. There's another image. So all of these things are going to go in the correct containers when I put them in the formatter. If I have them in the correct containers, then I get my work inside the formatter down to just a few minutes. There's another one of those links, and if I can do that, I'll get this down to where there's just a couple of steps I have to do, and I've made my life really, really easy. So you're designating containers here. Let's save this draft. We're going to open this up, and I'm going to show you the value of those containers when we go into the platform here. Pick a quick template. And now I'm going to give this a name. That has loaded up. All right. right, let's go over here. See the container here? That's a heading container. And when I click on the heading, over here, it tells me that it is an H2 tag, just exactly like I had designated it in the editor. Remember, this is a formatting tool. It's going to take the container information and it's going to apply the formatting from the template to the content that you've imported, all right? Let's go down here and take a look at this, okay? Now, I don't like to have my headings full justified like that. So let's change that globally. I'm going to do it like this, okay? But I can do that, and that will change it to every single heading that I have, okay? That's the beauty of having everything inside of containers. This makes this product really, really easy to use, okay? There's that image that I had from before. I can edit the image here. I can do whatever I want to do with it. I'm not going to show you how to edit inside of this. I just want you to see the value of having the containers here. And then you can actually track it across the top of the page up here. And you see that you're in a paragraph, you're in a header. Let's go down here and take a look at my table, okay? So this is my entire container. This is an unordered list. And it's going to keep that entire list on inside the container so that it goes where I want it to go, okay? So let's click out of this. Let's click back in the list again. And when we do that, I can move that up and down by using the up and down arrow key. And I can keep that list together so that it stays all as one piece. And that's the beauty of having your containers, that you can move those around, fill the spaces that are needed. Okay, use the up arrow key. I can move this back. Use the up arrow key and I can move it back on that page. All right, but that's why you want everything to be inside of containers, and that's the value of a container-driven formatting tool like this. Make sure that you designate your containers properly before you bring them into the platform. Everything gets a lot easier when you do that, because it's hard to change the containers inside the platform, and that's the reason why you want to add your text in the editor and not in the platform or in the formatter. But you want to do all of your editing inside of that tool, because it then puts everything in the right containers and makes them really easy to deal with inside of the formatter.